take towards that is to build an awareness. We work in different causes, from education, health, art and culture to 12 other causes. On every Saturday at 11 a.m., we have a talk on these various topics. For example, when it comes to health, India has a rich source of Ayurvedic treatments, alternative medicines like Ayurveda, homeopathy, Siddha, naturopathy. At a time when India is leading in diabetes, heart attacks, cancer, we have preventive medication which can be used. So a lot of talks have come out where people can use household items to prevent some of these or to control some of them. Our grandmothers were a rich source of information. Our parents knew a little lesser than that, and we know a lot lesser than that. And perhaps our children may never get that heritage. Here at Vishwa, we have people who tell us how to use the household items like curry leaves or neem or lemongrass, for what ailments, etc. Similarly, we have talks on art and culture. We would like to have our Indians to be united, be one, be proud of their culture, their heritage. We have a lot of talks where people from various walks of life have come forward and spoken about various buildings, various dance forms, etc. These are two examples I have given. We cover 12 causes like this in our Vishwa Talks. As a first step, we want to bring in awareness among the coming generation. Our audience is across the country and sometimes abroad too. We have a rich interactive session after the talk is given by the expert. It's for any person who watches these talks to decide what they want to believe in, what they don't want to believe in, and if they have any clarifications, they're free to ask questions. After this, we want to build the skills of the people of India. Today, India is on the cusp of moving into one of the top countries of the world. But unfortunately, the skills of our people do not match our aspirations. Here at Vishwa, we started out in a small way. We started with computer training. Fortunately for us, Rotary and some people have donated computers to us. We teach 10th class students, inter students and degree students so that when they go for jobs, they don't get rejected. We teach the basics like Excel, Doc, ChatGPT, how to market. The basics we teach because most of them cannot afford computers and they have no access to them. And similarly, we have something called celebrations. Celebrations is celebrating your loved ones on their anniversaries, on their birthdays, on their death anniversaries. You could contribute to any of the causes that Vishwa showcases on its platform vishwa.org. You could, Annadanam for instance. There are a lot of people across the country who, when they go to hospitals, they come up from far-off regions and they little money they have, they keep it aside for the treatment of the patient. They sleep on platforms, they hardly eat anything. And we give them food every afternoon on Fridays and it makes a lot of difference. There are similar such fundraisers. Please feel free to celebrate your loved ones with any of these causes.
Vishwa's commitment towards zero waste and the long way to go in achieving the goal begins with our material donation drive. Conducted twice a year during Diwali and Ugadi in Hyderabad, this drive collects clothes, books, toys and other used or semi-used items for the underprivileged. Contributions from over 615 plus families have benefited around 2,800 individuals, providing essential items and support, bringing hope and dignity to them. Through these efforts, we transform the waste of some into the treasure of others, promoting sustainability and community welfare.
Namaskaram, everyone. A very good morning and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Trishant, and I thank you all for attending today's event on Zoom and to those watching on YouTube Live. For those of you who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for our new joinees, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is a program to create awareness amongst people and make a positive impact in the society. Here, we invite experts to discuss and explore diverse opinions, different perspectives, various issues, problems, and their solutions on various fields, including art and culture, healthcare, environment, education, and many more. Each webinar is an interactive session with a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you miss any part of the session and would like to go through the previous session, please visit our Vishwatalks YouTube channel. It is with great warmth and pride that we welcome today's distinguished speaker, Ms. Shrivani Mullapudi. Shrivani is the founder of the Vishwa Foundation and also serves as the chairperson of Vishwa Seva and Ayatana Design and Build Mart. With a mission to unite changemakers, she is the visionary behind Vishwa and has been actively working with numerous organizations to create change at grassroots levels. She stands as a remarkable force of transformation, blending compassion, innovation, and community-driven action to redefine how we approach sustainability, resilience, and inclusive urban development. Today, as she leads this Vishwatalk session, we look forward to a thought-provoking conversation that will spark ideas, ignite action, and bring us one step closer to the cleaner, kinder world we all envision. Please join me in warmly welcoming Ms. Shrivani Mullapudi. As we dive into today's interesting discussion, I would like to inform the audience that our speaker will be taking questions from you after our main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or use the raise hand tool and we will allow you to ask your questions in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for the interactive part of the webinar. Kindly keep questions concise and on point. You can state your opinions, perspectives in the chat box. So without further ado, let's welcome Ms. Shrivani Mullapudi as she shares her inspiring journey and valuable insights into ocean riches, investing in nature for prosperity and planet, protecting oceans, securing livelihoods, and sustaining life. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Namaste, everyone. My name is Shrivani. I'm a mother of 3 and a grandmother of another 3. I'm also the founder of Vishwa Foundation. Vishwa was born with a deep desire to give back to society. In India, we have the 4 phases of life, the Brahmacharni, the Gruhastha, the Vanaprastha, and the Sannyasi. My kids have grown up, 2 of them are married, and they don't need me anymore. So this is the time I wanted to give back to society, and I chose to start Vishwa Foundation. In Vishwa Foundation, today we have taken on zero waste as a new project, and we are working towards it. It's a Herculean project, and it's a humongous project. It's not something that we can do it alone. We need each and everyone to participate in it because there's a need. We've done multiple talks on zero waste. Rakesh will put all the links in the chat box. Please do have at them. This behind the mission is not just environmental. It's deeply personal. I want to leave behind a planet where my children and grandchildren and yours can thrive in health, dignity, and harmony with nature. In our tradition, dharma means to distinguish between right and wrong. In earlier times, if someone stole, it was considered a very grave wrong. But today, the scale has shifted. The question no longer is who is stealing. The deeper question is what kind of carbon footprint are we leaving? This is a great measure of right and wrong in our times. India wants it in harmony with nature. Our lifestyle is inherently sustainable. To imitate the West, we have adopted way of living that no longer balance Mother Earth. This has begun to affect not just the planet, but also health, our daily lives, and our overall well-being. Next slide, please. slide, please. Next slide, Rakesh. I need to sync with what I'm doing. Please go back. Please go back one slide. Yes. Oceans. Every second breath you take is powered by the ocean. The ocean is the Earth's largest life support system. 70% of our planet is covered with water. More than 50% of the oxygen is coming by just 1 second. Yes. More than 50% of the oxygen we are taking in is coming from the phytoplankton. 25% of the global emissions are being absorbed by the ocean. Our oceans are economic. Today, we are dependent on the ocean for climate regulation, for carbon sequestration, for nutrition cycling, for oxygen production, for food provisioning, biodiversity support, coastal support, for coastal protection, cultural and recreational purposes, biochemical and medicinal sources. Climate regulation. As already I said, oceans take on our carbon dioxide and excess heat. It regulates global temperature, weather, and rainfall patterns. Carbon sequestration. Storing carbon in many marine organizations, sediments, and deep waters. Carbon sequestration is the process of capturing and storing atmospheric carbon dioxide primarily to mitigate climate change. Unlike other forests and all, where when carbon is taken, it's immediately released in the ocean waters. It is kept there for some more time, like in mangroves. The blue carbon ecosystem acts as a long-term carbon sinks. Blue carbon is carbon dioxide that is absorbed from the atmosphere and stored in coastal and marine ecosystems like mangroves.
and seagrass meadows. These blue carbon ecosystems are highly efficient at capturing and storing carbon, often more so per acre than terrestrial forests in both their biomass and the waterlogged soils, sediments beneath them. Mangroves, trees that grow, all of us have seen near Chennai, Bombay. So these are being quickly cut off for real estate purposes, and we need to protect them. Fisheries, billions of people, more than 3 billion people in the world are dependent on fisheries and aquaculture as a major source, including for protein. The habitats support for fishing and nurseries is also a part of the ocean. Biodiversity support, hosting immense biodiversity from microorganisms to whales. Oceans also maintain genetical resources valuable for medicines and biotechnology. Coral reefs, mangroves, and wetland buffers against storms, tsunamis, flooding, erosion. Cultural recreational services, spiritual, cultural, and recreational values tied to coastal communities. A lot of tourist livelihoods are dependent on these marine landscapes. Biochemical and medical resources. Marine organizations provide compounds used in antibiotics, cancer drugs, and other medicines. A small table will be presented to all of you on some of the marine species that are used for medical use. Next slide, please. Nutrient cycling. Can you stay there? Recycling nitrogen, phosphorus. Can you go back a slide, please? Yeah. The physical process is recycling of nitrogen, phosphorus, and other nutrients, silica and other nutrients. This is nutrient recycling, supporting primary productivity. The ocean is Earth's greatest geochemical engine, constantly cycling vital nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and silica. These processes like upwelling, decomposition, and microbial activities. These nutrients are made available to phytoplankton, tiny microscopic plants that form the foundation of the marine ecosystems. Phytoplankton performs half of the global photosynthesis, producing about 50% of the oxygen we breathe. They also form the basis of the food chain, sustaining everything from zooplankton to fish, marine mammals, and seabirds. When nutrient cycling is disrupted by overfishing, excess fertilizer runoff, or climate-driven changes in ocean currents, the ecosystem balance collapses. This can trigger dead zones, harmful algae blooms, and reduced fish stocks. Thus, protecting nutrient cycles is not only vital for marine diversity, but also for global food security, fisheries-based economies, and climate regulations. Next slide. India's ocean connection. India's 7,500 kilometers coastline supports 4 million fishermen families. 95% of India's trade by volume is going out through shipping, tourism, biodiversity hotspots, Sundarbans, Andamans, Lakshadweep. We need to protect them. These are hotspots. Coastal and marine ecosystems, as I've already told you, protects us from cyclones, store carbon, sustain livelihoods. but they are under pressure from plastic, climate change, and overfishing. Conserving our ocean ecosystem today is far more cost effective than trying to restore them tomorrow. The ocean is not just a natural asset, it's an investment in prosperity and the planet. Next slide. The ocean economy. Ecosystem services globally value at 120 to 140 trillion, nearly double global GDP. Oceans provide food security to 3 billion people on seafood as main protein. Climate regulations plus carbon sink, oxygen generator, jobs and trades plus shipping. 80 to 90% of all the global goods movement is going through the sea. Tourism and recreation, $390 billion is the annual tourism value. Oceans are our biggest invisible economy, uncounted in GDP, but essential for our life. When we protect oceans, we are protecting the world's largest economy, the natural economy. Next slide, please. Economic loss from degradation. Up to 18% of the global GDP by 2050 if ecosystems continue to collapse. Natural saving plans, 1 to 1.5 billion restoration, 6 to 8 billions from artificial filtrations. Nature saved taxpayers billions. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Conservation is cheaper than cure. Preventing loss is always cheaper than repairing damage. Preserving ecosystems now versus the expense of trying to restore damaged ecosystems later is very high. For example, a mangrove conservation is 10 times cheaper than artificial flood defenses. Prevention is not just ecological, but economical. Next slide, please. Is my Wi-Fi late or is, yeah, right.
Yes, ma'am. There's a slight delay in, like, when you prompt, there is a slight delay in the PPT.
Okay.
You can just wait for 5 seconds, it'll pop up.
Okay. Comparative studies show that salt marsh restoration versus farmland is both profitable, but intact ecosystems deliver more long-term benefits. Forest, wetlands, reefs preserved give higher returns than conversion to farming or development. Long-term data. Maintaining ecosystems consistently outperforms short-term intensive land use. Intact habitats equals to flood control, fisheries, carbon capture, tourism, multi-income generators. Conservation isn't just ecological, it's the financially smart play. Next, please. Oceans, life support for planet and people. Climate regulations. Ocean absorb 90% of excess heat and 25% of our carbon dioxide emissions. They regulate our monsoons, rainfall, global weather. So they are a source of our food security and medicine. India's coastal connection. Millions depend on fish stocks, aquaculture, and beach tourism. Oceans shape culture, rituals, and livelihood. Next, please. Okay. Next, please. Yeah. The horseshoe crab. Horseshoe crab is not a crab. It's more closer to a spider. And it is used by scientists to test for bacterial toxins in vaccines, drugs, and devices. However, each time they catch a crab, a horseshoe crab, they take 20% of its blood and they use it to test against new vaccines. And we are harvesting these horseshoe crabs for our purpose, for our scientific purposes to test our drugs, which is having an impact. And these crabs, when they go back, most of them die or simply collapse, or their energy levels have come down. So in this way, we have been exploiting the Mother Earth and the ocean. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. I'd like a few of you to write on your notes, what do you think are the challenges facing the ocean? Can you all please put it in the chat box? Excellent. Yes. Next slide, please. As most of you all have already covered it, climate change, oceans absorb 90% of the excess heat, driving stronger cyclones and destabilizing fisheries. Warming, this coral bleaching, mass die-offs of reefs is another impact. Acidification of oceans, increasing carbon dioxide makes oceans more acidic, weakening shells, corals, and plankton. Pollution, especially plastic waste contaminates water and enters the human food chain. Ocean ecosystem is also impacted, such with the species distribution and ocean circulation. The deep sea and vulnerabilities to saltwater intrusion into drinking water reserves. The sea level rise has also is another impact. Another challenge that the oceans are facing is the hypocrisy of us. There is a thought process among us that we can exploit the oceans and they will regenerate. The estimation in 1970s was 90% of the fish stocks will get regenerated. But the reality in 2021 is only 62% of these natural habitats are getting regenerated. Ocean protection policies are moving too slowly. To meet the global target, conserving 30% of the land and 30% of the sea by 2030, conservation areas must expand fourfold within the next few years. There's a lack of finance. Between 2014 and 2024, governments and industry pledged 160 billion for oceans, but only 23.8 billion was delivered, highlighting a major financial gap. You need to change the slide, Rakesh. You're not in sync with what I'm talking. $23.8 billion was delivered, highlighting a major financial gap. Oil and gas interests dilute agreements. 100 plus countries back curbing plastic production to protect oceans. But oil, gas, and plastic lobbies push to shift focus towards waste management instead. Next slide. Is it my Wi-Fi or Rakesh? Are you not in sync with what I'm talking?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
your network bandwidth is very low. So
Okay.
that's why it's coming a little delayed.
I'm so sorry.
No worries,
Yeah.
no worries. Please, I think we are on the right slide now.
Yeah.
Agreement and treaties.
Agreements and treaties. The High Seas Treaty. It was to protect marine sources in areas beyond the national jurisdiction of countries. It is signed off by 115 countries, but only 21 ratified. We need at least 60 to ratify for it to become a law. More than 2/3 of the oceans are not near the national boundaries. And these are the areas which need protection. And this treaty is important. Fisheries Subsidies Agreement. It's bans subsidies for illegal, unreported, and harvesting of overfish stocks. It's ratified by 97 World Trade Organization members, but we need 14 more to take effect. Plastics Treaty, which I have already mentioned. Not all countries are pro it. They would rather that we recycle the plastics, but in reality, how many plastics can actually be recycled? Ensuring all the voices are there in these forums, whether it is governments, whether it is scientists, whether it's NGOs, whether it is industries, whether it is indigenous people. All the signatories need to gather at a place and collaborate and actually see what is the reality. Next, please. As already mentioned, the human pressures on marine life. Overfishing, 34% of the global fish stocks exploited beyond sustainable limits. Pollution, 11 million tons of plastic enter oceans annually. Chemicals, oil spills, they worsen the impact. Habitat loss, mangroves, seagrasses, reefs are being cleared and reducing natural defenses and the biodiversity. There is a collapse in biodiversity. Species are getting extinct. Food security. Degraded oceans weaken ecosystem services for billions of people. When we weaken the ocean, we weaken ourselves, and foods, jobs, climate resilience all begin to unravel. Solutions. Next. Nature's power to heal. Next slide. Resilient ecosystems, restoring reefs, mangroves can bounce back, enhancing biodiversity and coastal protection. Marine protected areas can recover, and the fish populations can recover. But as I've already told you, we need to increase these hotspots by 4 times for this to happen. Evidence-based reef restoration, artificial reefs, and blue carbon projects have to be taken more. Hopeful signals, whales returning to formerly depleted habitats, sea turtle nestling increasing in well-managed course. When we give nature a chance, it surprises us with its capacity to heal. Next slide, please. Innovations and global action. Policies, as I've already mentioned, the ocean policy needs to be given a lot of importance at the ground level, because most of our plastics are going from our homes. So the global goal is to restore 350 million hectares by 2030. Trillions in net benefits projected. Business shifts. Nature positive strategies entering boardrooms. Today, some corporates have tried to look at their supply chains, look at how they can reforest a place if they are cutting trees. So the entire supply chain is being integrated. There are places where corporates are even looking at rethinking and are incorporating bio-based materials into core product lines. For example, UK First Milk is turning dairy waste into biogas while sequestering carbons on farms. Investments are being made, innovations are being made. HSBC and Pollination and Investment Advisory Group has launched a 1 billion natural capital fund to invest in reforestation and land restoration across Latin America and Asia Pacific. Mirova, a sustainable investing affiliate to Natixis Investment Managers, is mobilizing a blended finance coalition to back its second generation fund supporting regenerative agriculture, agroforestry, and sustainable forestry in the global south. Next slide, please. To sum it all up, cost-effective leverage oceans are the most powerful carbon sink, absorbing the heat and the carbon dioxide of our world. We need to protect the healthy ecosystems, save trillions in avoided losses. It is cheaper to conserve than to restore. Natural capital outperforms artificial infrastructure. Oceans and food security, jobs, climate resilience for billions. Investing in oceans gives us the biggest return for people, prosperity, and planet. Next, please. So what can you do as individual? Could you please put it in the notes? In the chat box, please. Excellent. Next slide, please. Think about the footprint that you're leaving. There's a changing climate across the country, and we have to work towards cutting down our footprint. We need to refuse plastic at every step, at every day. Monitor how much of plastic are you using today? How much can you cut down? Find out where your seafood is coming from. Where is our trash going to? Be a responsible tourist. So many times I see that, people just pick up a kurkure packet and then throw it right there. Bring in awareness. Yes. Next slide, please. Back conservation. Prevent ecosystems degrading before it happens. Whether it is in Chirala, whether it is in Godavari districts, whether it is in Bombay, support, protect your mangroves. Expand marine protected areas, enforce sustainable fishing, ban single-use plastics. Fund smart restoration, prioritize high-impact, cost-effective ecosystems. Restore seagrass, coral reefs, blue carbon, champions for climate and coastal defense. Support natural capital frameworks, measure and value ecosystems in decision-making. Adopt natural capital accounting in national budgets and corporate reporting. Mobilize, share responsibility with the society. I've been to Chirala to visit a family member. You enter it, it's full of plastics. All these plastics are going into the sea. Any of you can be a leader for your town, for your village, for your city, in your colony. Be the social champion which will work on these areas. Mobilize all the stakeholders, whether it is government, people, whether it is NGOs, whether it is individuals, whether it is business houses. Work with them, bring awareness. Next, please. Protecting ecosystems saves money, lives, and livelihoods. These oceans are our future for our children and grandchildren. Healthy oceans give us food security because they impact the food web, the water cycle. Climate stability and biodiversity is very critical. The greatest return on investment is nature's. Conserving ocean ecosystem isn't just environmental, it's economically prudent and impactful. By investing in ocean now, we generate returns, not financially, but for the society and our planet for generations to come. With this, I'd like to say yesterday evening, the speaker, Mr. Arvind, who had to come today, had dropped off. And last minute, I had to jump in and we picked up a topic which is close to what he was talking about. So I hope I covered a different set of topic here at Vishwa Talks. We've done more than 10 talks on environment, zero waste, and its impact and what we need to do. And to sum it all up, I have said that not only at an individual level, but at an NGO level, at a government level, all of us need to get together, protect, and see the impact that we are having on the ocean, bring awareness and work towards it. With this, I close the talk and we get open for question and answers after Drishan finishes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you for presenting us with the topic. Apologies to the participants for any network glitches that you must have encountered. Just a moment. Yeah, before we move on to the Q&A, I'd like to just take 30 seconds of your time for a quick future talk to you. A big thank you to everyone here today. Your presence and participation means a lot. While you fill out the survey, I'd like to extend my gratitude to our speaker, Shravani ma'am. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for bringing awareness on such a pertinent topic. For anybody who's missed any part of the session, I'm going to share the YouTube live link in the chat box right away. You can save it, share it, and go through the missed part of the session. And with that, I think we are now open to questions. I request all of the participants to quickly participate in the poll so that we can close it. I see 14 people have participated out of 64. Kindly interact with the poll so that we can quickly close it. So the first question is, how often do you carry a reusable bag or bottle to reduce plastic waste? About 64% people have said always they prefer carrying a reusable bag or bottle. About 26% people, 9 out of 35, have said sometimes. 9% say rarely. If given a choice, would you join a beach or a lake cleanup activity? About 69% people, 24 out of 35, have showed positive affirmation. Yes, definitely. 23% maybe if time permits. 8% not sure. Okay, Rakesh, thank you so much. You can end the poll and share the results. Meanwhile, I'm going to unmute Mr. Vasant. Kindly unmute yourself. Just a moment. I'm prompting you to unmute.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Trishad. Shivani-ji, you have done a wonderful job. Thank you. And
It was
as
very
an
last
environment,
minute. Yesterday evening at 3:30, they told the speaker is not coming and we had to literally work together. Thank you for bearing up with me.
you have done a good job. No problem.
Yeah.
My question is, see, with all these environmental issues brought out by you in your presentation, one thing I find missing is, as you have rightly said, prevention is better than cure. We have allowed plastic to come into our life, whether by mistake or intent, we don't know. Somehow it has become ubiquitous. And we must always say that instead of stop using, give them something alternate and then talk about banning it. Policymakers will have to take a decision to ban completely SUP, single-use plastic, which is a product of our crude oil. After getting refined and other things, the crude, the whatever remains, that is being converted into various plastic products. And we don't know how the oil industry will appreciate our banning plastic. That's one thing. Second thing is, while agreeing with all whatever, I don't know whether any proper study has been made for identifying the quantum of cellulose acetate. That is, I'm talking about cigarette butts. There are millions of people consuming billions of cigarettes every day and tossing filters onto the streets. And they go into the garbage dump. Ultimately, they find their way through the drains or whatever may be the ocean. They go into the oceans and they acidify and also create toxicity, which is consumed by fish. They die. Corals are losing their colors, and mammals, whales are getting their lungs are being affected. Hundreds of things are happening. Bad things are happening to the ocean living beings. Such being the case, if we ban completely the crop production of, ban the crop cultivation of tobacco, we can save a lot of toxicity in the world. That is, 1 kg of tobacco, if you have to cure it, it requires 8 kg of wood, dry wood. And that means every year, every season, millions of trees are being cut down for providing wood, dry wood for curing tobacco. That means we are losing greenery. Another thing that is happening is even for rolling cigarettes, they require tissue paper. That tissue paper requires again wood. For that also millions of trees are being cut. This is how we are being careless with regard to controlling tobacco menace. And in addition to that, people are smoking and also getting NCDs, non-communicable diseases, like cancer and other things. See, when something is not good for the society, it is the responsibility of the policymakers to see that it is eliminated. Why did we eliminate the different kinds of diseases? Polio, for example, 95% we have succeeded. That means even here, cancer, lung diseases, asthma, BP, all these things are due to 50% of deaths are taking place due to these NCDs. And most of them are caused for smokers. And it is also very bad for the non-smokers, children and women folk. One puff is enough for changing somebody's lungs. DNA it can change. That means assuming a person is a smoker for 40 years, that's what expected. And he starts at about at the age of 15 or 20 and 40 years. By 60, he is suffering from various diseases. And another thing that is happening is it is also having a lot of economic thing on the common man.
Sir, I'd like to request you to also give time to other.
I'll shut down 1 minute.
Yes.
No, no. If I say a person is smoking a pack a day, 150 rupees or 200 rupees, into the 365 days, into 40 years, that comes to about 26,96,000 rupees he has burnt. Burning and getting sick, cigarette burning, getting sick, curing again, spending money, affecting the family, all these things. Something is not good for the
I
society.
have a question to ask. How much of cigarette production is happening in our country?
Millions, madam, every day. And another thing is there are two things. One is contraband, the other one is accounted. Whatever is excise duty is levied is accounted. The contraband is not accounted. And BDs are the worst possible. There is no accountability at all. There is a nominal 5% levy on the BDs for machine made, but handmade, there is no tax at all. That means billions of BDs smuggled from Sikkim, Bhutan, and other places, Bangladesh, Pakistan, they are entering into our Indian community. And people are seeking for cheaper varieties, whether they are branded or not. Like that even all the cigarettes that are being supplied are not genuine. They don't contain genuine the tobacco. It is mixed with different kinds of small leaves, dry leaves and other things. That means we are endangering our lives again. Something has to be done. And what is your opinion about banning cultivation?
Definitely, it has to be regulated. No, it is not. It has to be regulated. Anything which is banned comes, then the counterfeit products gets into the market. It has to be regulated, just like probably even the drugs or the poppies and all that are being grown across the world also needs to be regulated. These lobbies have their own way of controlling the governments, and so it's not easy for the government. For example, if you see the recent ban that the government has taken on gaming, it's a lot of reaction has come to it. So it's not an easy task for any government to just completely ban, but regulating, yes, they have to do that.
No, something is bad. That means it is not regulating. We'll have to ban it. We'll have to remove it from our from the midst of the society. Do it.
Yes.
Live and let live. Don't
Yeah.
make non-smokers suffer because of you. They are actually billing footing your bill because you are a non-smoker, but you will have to you get the bill because you will have to cure the other man who is a
Yes.
smoker's bill. Anyway, I will leave it to
Yes.
the good sense of people who really care for here. But at the end of the day, Constitution provides whatever may be the reason, economic or otherwise, what remains supreme is good health of the people. You will have to do anything and everything to safeguard that. Thank you, man. Done a good
Vasanji, we
job.
really appreciate your commitment to working towards this cause. I'm so proud of the way that people like you are still fighting for our society. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Guntur is specialized.
Guntur, Chirala, Guntur.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Vasant sir. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
sir.
us.
In fact, the entire Chirala, Guntur, the soils are so damaged because of all this.
Yes, chemical.
Yeah, chemically and cotton growing, even without doing the natural farming, all those lands are completely damaged now. All the chili and the cotton that we're taking from there are actually chemical ridden.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tobacco depletes the soil.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Next question.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to unmute Mr. Shmuel. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining
You
us.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation about oceans. And I want to ask you a short question. How, according to your opinion, protecting on oceans can support resolution problems of poverty and improvement social and economic well-being?
Trishant, can you repeat that question?
Yes, ma'am. How protecting the oceans can help solve societal issues and uplift people from poverty, and how does it impact, say,
in India, traditionally, as I've already told you, we are a society which never depended on plastics. We're a very sustainable culture is what we had. In India, if you go to a village, whether it is a person who's a landlord or of the lowest community, all of them, when they have their children, have the same traditions, the same functions, the same way of oiling their babies, and the same way of bathing their children with the basin, which is a flour. So if you see the traditional lifestyle of Indians, it has never been as it is now. Now, the minute you have a bath, you want to use chemical soap or chemical shampoo. You want to buy food which is packed. So what has happened is the lifestyles have changed in India. If we can go back to our old lifestyles which we had in India, which did not need, like for example, we're spending a lot of money on hair conditioners. Use coconut milk, which is made at home. We're spending on soaps. Use basin, which is available at home. So what happened is the villages previously were very self-sufficient. We are breaking the villages. We're creating urbanization, and we're not realizing the impact this is creating on urban poverty. If we coming back to the old ways in which India lived, where we lived in balance with earth, we lived in balance with the ocean, we lived in balance with nature, the overall requirement, the gap between the rich and poor would come down. It is not about whether you have a Mercedes Benz, God knows with what series, versus whether you're having the same healthy, natural food. The very concept of wealth, poverty is very different from the eyes of the West versus the original Indian thought process. The original Indian thought process was having healthy food, having family around you. Today, India is aping the West, and we are viewing India with the lens of the West about what is poverty. First, if that filter changes, if that lens of what is poverty changes, if India can come back to the old thought process about what is wealth, Ashtalakshmi is wealth, money is not wealth. That concept that the West has about what is wealth is different from the concept about what is wealth in India previously. So when you're saying that how will ocean impact, first move out of the concept of what is poverty and what is wealth. Wealth is not money. Wealth is protecting our nature for the future generations. That is wealth. Protecting our food web is wealth. Protecting our water cycles is wealth. Protecting our mangroves is wealth. So that concept needs to change about what is poverty and what is wealth. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Do you want more clarity, Shmuel?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I have another short question.
Mhm.
I want to ask you what government and authorities of India do in practice for effective protecting on oceans and what government of India do for effective resolution of problems of plastic pollution.
So what is the government of India doing for ocean pollution? Is that your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In fact,
Pollution
And
and
plastic pollution.
protecting ocean.
So in fact, Vishwa is working with INCOIS, which to create zero waste in their community, in their office spaces and their quarters. INCOIS is Indian National Institution of Ocean Services. Very impressive place. I can see the government putting a lot of effort to understand our sea, the entire length of our sea, the impact we are having on the waters, and how we need to support and regulate our fishermen. There is an effort being made by the government to help our fishermen and regulate them in their fishing so that there's no overfishing, and that certain mangroves, reefs are protected. In fact, a lot of islands like Lakshadweep and Andaman and all, there is a lot of debate going on how to ensure that we protect our ecosystems, coastal ecosystems. The government has organizations which are working towards protecting these ecosystems.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Shmuel, for joining us. Before we move on to the next question, I'd quickly like to mention details of the upcoming talk. We have Chirag Chaudhary. He's an architect, animator. He's the founder of Lefty Media. And he's going to be talking about undoing the spotlight effect. This is going to be a very illustration-based session because Chirag is an animator. And the title is Undoing the Spotlight Effect While Being the Main Character in Your Life. This is going to be a little psychological, also very artsy. I hope everybody can join in for this session and register. I will bring in details for the upcoming talks post this in the upcoming session. This is on 30th of August, 2025, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. With that, I'd also like to thank everybody who's been with us till now. There's about 47 people in the webinar. Thank you so much for joining with us. Moving on to the next question from Mr. Himanshu. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us again. Pleased to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you again. It was really a great presentation by Madam, and a lot of new things I have learned. Although I'm an environmental engineer, but a lot of new things I have learned. So thanks. You were talking like a real expert, although he was not there, but you were also expert. So thanks for that. Just few things to add to this. The biggest ocean polluting, there are 2, 3 things which are mostly very polluting in nature. That is, one is the shipping industry. That I think we should cover. That also is a part of shipping industry is polluting a lot of problem and creating huge amount of pollution in ocean. That also should be taken care of. Then there should be some rules and regulation for that, but they are not being properly implemented. Then first thing is shipping industry. Second is that fishermen nets. That is a bigger problem. That also I think you can address into this talk. Because of this fishermen nets, they are throwing huge amount of fishermen nets are being thrown into the ocean, and they are the cause of entangling of the aquatic animals and tortoise and fishes. They got entangled and they lose their life even after. So it's very harmful. Thirdly, oil spills also are very important. So these 3 things are the major source of ocean pollution. So we should take into account all these things also while addressing the ocean pollution problem. Just a suggestion.
So fishermen nets, I think we should start going in for organic nets. One thing we can consider.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
So these are
And-
the issues we should address.
Yeah.
And zero waste also, I think you're doing a lot of things. So you can also take my help. I will be easily available for all of you.
Well, one of our
Whenever
talks you
it's
should do.
Yes, sir. I'm
whenever
getting you
any
for a
talks
session
are
next
required.
month.
Hi, yeah, definitely I'll be available. You can take my help. I am doing a lot of awareness generation in case of circular economy to many university. I have taken the lecture in IIT Roorkee also and number of Delhi University. I am from Gurgaon. So I'm mostly taking lectures on circular economy and plastic waste management. So I'll be very happy to deliver lecture on circular economy and helping a lot of, even I am helping, I think last time I told you that I'm making zero waste policy for 3 Tamil Nadu cities in Tamil Nadu. And that is at the final stage of,
Okay.
so that's I'll be free of cost. I will be helping you. Not a, although I'm a professional, I have worked for 35 years in this field, but after my retirement, I want to help the society and take it further.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining in. I'll get in touch with you very soon. Also, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you.
Ma'am, there's a question from Mr. Yashesha. Population growth should be considered the first and foremost challenge. While we discuss making changes at individual level through NGOs and government initiatives, let's imagine a scenario. An entire city appears on the Earth's map, completely new to all existing policies we've created so far. How do we solve this?
Can you repeat? How do we solve the population control and what is the other one?
Okay, just a moment. Let's imagine a scenario. An entire city suddenly appears on Earth's map, completely new to all existing policies we've created so far. How do we solve this?
Population control.
Yes, population growth, also change through individual NGOs and government initiatives.
See, there is a set of community which is believing in population control, and there is another set of community which is not believing in population control. There are views for it and there are views against it. But if you see history, nature has always taken its own course on correcting the world population and exploitation by humans. I think we should leave it to nature. That's my personal opinion, but you can have your opinion too. Yes.
I'm going to unmute Mr. Amit Chaudhary. Kindly unmute yourself.
Hi, Trishant. Hi, thank you so much. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
So good to see you all again. Hi,
Hello.
Shivani.
Same here, sir. Pleased
Hi.
to see you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I just would like to share an opinion, probably a point where Samuel did
In
mention
fact,
how.
Amit, I've been wanting to reach out to you about the carbon footprint and why we need to encourage carbon footprint in India, especially with the oceans support we need to give. What is happening in India in this front?
Right. Shivani,
And
I think just so, yes, I think I'm very happy that you raised the right question here. I think it's I think probably the new orange, I would call it, is the blue economy. So I think people have talked enough about green economy, but there's a huge source and there's a huge cry over oceans. As we all know, climate change eventually is warming up our oceans equally, which is creating an imbalance in the ecosystem of ocean itself. It's huge. So it's also adding to a lot to the greenhouse effect with regards to how it's trapping in more heat, and then that's precipitating, and that's how we have all these cloud bursts and all of this happening. So I think that's majorly an issue. And the other issue that you also see is climate change has also started drifting our ocean currents, the heat. So what's happening is, if you see, eventually, we all depend on fisheries. We all have to have that mass because most of the economy and the population feed on fish worldwide. So all the fish started migrating towards the south. I mean, that's very difficult because we can't go to the south and get all the fish for our needs. We're not equipped. So this is the biggest challenge that climate change is throwing at us. It's going to disrupt, because adding to Samuel's question, only when we protect our the blue economy, it makes so much sense to actually protect all of us, providing employment, food on the table, and all of that. So that's one point that I would like to add. And coming to the blue footprints, Shivani, I think, Shivani, what we have to do is we have to take initiatives where not only cleaning plastics, protecting those corals. In fact, I just would also like to add, India is also doing fabulously great job, especially that Ram Setu area and all that part. If you see, we have actually increased the mangrove to largely by 70%, which is marvelous. So this is something that we all have to celebrate, that it's a political will. I think we still have a lot to do on the go, and it is a trademark. I feel very happy that India has started, and there's so much that we can do in terms of blue economy, and even for corporates, investing into blue technologies, protecting oceans is also going to fetch them money to offset their carbon emissions. So, and what I personally, Shivani, feel is enough of corporates. I think we are all are individually responsible for climate change and global warming. We all should start monitoring our carbon emissions. And I foresee that, through Carbon Heroes and through institutes like us and yours, we should start emphasizing on, monitoring our carbon footprints and how to monetize it. Because when we start doing it, it's the only way that people start taking things seriously. So I mean, in a way, saying that paisa dekho, tamasha dekho, something on those lines. We all have to really work hard, and jitna bhi karo kam hai. I mean, populated country like India, to get to the grassroots level, it's difficult. But I think corporates has a huge responsibility today when it comes to the economy. So I think that's the point I would like to add to the session.
what is the carbon footprints and what do you see? Where are we in India with respect to that?
In terms of carbon footprints, I think as a country, we're very first of all, there's no awareness. Like, let's say, when we're talking about emissions, how many of us are aware that, from the time you wake up till the time to go to your bed, there's always a carbon emission coming out of it with the electricity we use, with the water we're using. So first of all, we're not even educated at the very basics. A lot of us in schools and colleges, you see, we talk about carbon emissions, we talk about SDG goals, but how many of us are really putting carbon mitigation as part of your curriculum, as part of your lifestyles? See, this is where Carbon Heroes, we're also working equally hard in telling people, educating. Look, don't teach children how to just talk about climate change. Can you please start teaching them how to mitigate on things? Let's also make them feel guilty that they're doing enough harm. Now they don't have a choice now that they're here. See, either you protect it or you survive. So I think the option here is at a grassroots level we have to start teaching a lot about how to equally start climate mitigating your carbon footprints, right from your waste segregation to composting to let's say if you're a frequent flyer, how much of carbon dioxide is being emitted to you, how you can offset by taking part in whether it's a mango plantation or a plant drive or beach cleanup, whatever it takes, and also I think it's a great platform where, Shivani, you can start looking at, instrumentaling, certain systems where, people, like-minded people like all of us can come and start contributing to all those green technologies, because India today, we are at a crux where, self-sufficiency is becoming the need of the hour because of Trump. Everybody have to realize that, today we don't know what is coming in. So I think self-sufficiency is very important. And for a country like us, if we have to really take away fossil fuels, coal, we have to invest more into green economies, like green technologies. In fact, oceans has huge potential. There can be so many technologies. Like I've read recently that, based on ocean currents, people are generating electricity. So there are a lot of innovations that can be created in our country, or we can buy some technologies, and we have to start using oceans as a potential. In fact, very recently, yesterday I read some of the institutes have started using music at the corals, so that they can attract all the fish back, which is amazing. I mean, we need such new innovations, new scientists coming back to the country, and trying to do something. There's a lot. I mean, it's a lot that when it comes to blue economy, and it's really fresh because we are surrounded by water all the way. So it's a good opportunity, is what I feel. We are blessed to take it to the next level.
What are the rules and the regulations in India right now supporting carbon footprints?
What are the regulations? I think our country is more. There's a new act, Shrivani, that's come up where I think we have eventually have certain set of laws in place wherein the super gains of manufacturing, they have to contribute around, I think, 7% or 17% towards carbon mitigation, whether it is through social acts or whether through the reforms. So that's made mandatory by the government. Now the biggest challenge here is our MSMEs, because they are the biggest chunk. So I think the government should also start regulating it because the ESG compliance and all of that has been put into practice. But again, the efficacy with which we are going is not enough, is what I personally feel. There has to be more strict laws, especially when you're emitting so much of pollution. I think we should also bring, Shivani, carbon tax. That's when we have that in place individually and at the institute level, a lot of things will change drastically because people will become more conscious. Main paisa de raha hu, to something is valuable. Like, you said like Ashti Lakshmi, that the thing that you mentioned, people are more connected towards the emotion of, money and also a good amount of psychological behavioral change. So I think this has to go hand in hand where people also should feel guilty for what we've been doing. More tax. I think we should fight for carbon tax. Yeah.
Do we have enough regulations in India to protect the environment, especially with respect to oceans?
We are way ahead of at least a lot of other Southeast Asian countries, is what I feel after the mangroves that has been done at Lakshadweep. So I think the biggest challenge, Shivani, what I find in India is implementation. The execution part, no matter how much hard, some regulations are being done, it's about the people, and the people are administering it. If they are not efficient and if they're not doing it on time, at the standard level, that's the biggest challenge we face as a country. I think that's something that, that system is something that has to be, the value systems have to be really reformed, is what I feel. Yeah. Other than that, we have enough laws, enough things to be kept in place, but it's just that we don't take things little seriously when it comes to climate change.
Yeah, thank you. Instead of you asking me, I've been asking you all the questions.
No, I'm glad because we had this equation for quite some time. So, it's always pleasure. Today I had little free time. I said, okay, let me just join this session. It's always pleasure to be on Vishwa Talks. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Last minute. I thought I will reach out to you for some about this, but I didn't get to.
It's all happening. We're all busy in our own ways. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to go on to the next question from Mr. Kedareshwar Chaudhary. Do we have a comprehensive policy for protecting the coastal ecosystem, marine life saving, underwater cleanup, reef protection, mangroves, seagrass protection, and regeneration, etc.?
So we have this Disaster Management Act of 2005 and National Policy on DM in 2009, which is trying to protect the mangroves and all. We have the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which is funding artificial reef creation to restore aquatic life and biodiversity. We also have the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, along with other institutions like the Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute, monitoring coral reefs, ecosystems, conducting restoration programs. As our friend Amit had already told you that Rameshwaram, more than 70% of the mangroves have been restored, which is a Herculean task. The need to restore in other parts of India is there, but for that, the awareness among people is not enough. Because today in India, we're still trying to make ends meet. We're still trying to live a comfortable lifestyle. So people at all levels of the economic hierarchy are too busy thinking about themselves. Because the whole idea about what is wealth is different now. Wealth is our nature. Wealth is our future. Our nature is our wealth. That is our future. That change in thought process is needed. Yes, the government is taking some interesting moves. It's not sufficient according to me, but there is also a need to bring in awareness among people that we need to protect all these. Yes, there are a lot of individuals. In fact, the speaker who was supposed to come was physically doing all those restoration of the coral reefs, and he could have told us better about the ecosystems and what is happening on the ground level. Unfortunately, he is not there to answer these questions because his father fell ill. He was in the ICCU. So I had to take on what he started. Does that answer your question, Mr. Chaudhary?
Thank you, ma'am. I just wanted to know that after working in the non-profit sector for last 30 years in disaster management and coastal ecosystem, coastal livelihoods, we have found that there is no comprehensive policy or approach to restore the marine and this thing, because now people are saying the mangroves, or everybody is mad after mangroves. So I learned here that seagrass is also important, and the ocean bed cleaning is also important. So this kind of knowledge to be propagated through this kind of forums. Otherwise, communities, they don't get to know that. Whatever comes, that mangroves come, then the mangroves, not anything else. So I also got some insights from here, and it is very good that we go deeper. And Mr. Amit was telling that carbon monetizing that thing. It is again at the community level, monetizing the carbon credits and all. It is again it's a kind of Pandora box. They don't know anything about it, how to go about it, how to trust, whom to trust. The people are coming and they are saying that you can monetize the carbon, but how to do it, who is the proper channel? So those kind of aspects are not available at the ground level. So that is why this kind of discussion is very much important, and I thank you for organizing this.
Where are you from, sir? Which organization are you working in?
I am from Bhubaneswar, Odisha, ma'am.
Okay, and the organization you're working in?
It is a small NGO called Darbar Sahitya Sansad, DSS. It is a 42-year-old NGO, and we focus on livelihood for women, livelihood security, gender, and climate action. 3 areas.
What do you think about the turtles of Orissa and all? What is happening on that front? Turtles,
olive ridley. Yeah, there are a lot of awareness and people are protecting. A lot of NGOs, community people, they are protecting. But still there are forest division is supposed to protect those eggs. When they lay eggs, they have to protect. But there are little, it is not foolproof. But the communities are now aware and the NGOs are aware and they are protecting it. So it is good. And there is also one thing is that forest department need to be more vigilant. And second thing is that the nets, because these turtles they caught in the nets. So sometimes government bans fishing for some time, but again it's a livelihood issue for fishermen. So that how
Is
that
there a
combined together.
Is there a possibility to changing the plastic nets into organic nets?
I don't have knowledge, but I would like to learn more on it and I explore more on it, how to do some solutions. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Kedar Mishra sir, for joining us. Going to go on to the next question from Ms. Sangeeta Samant. How does excessive fishing in oceans impact marine ecosystems? And are current regulatory measures effective as checks and balances to prevent overfishing? Just a moment, ma'am. You're on mute.
Yeah. When people are going to for fishing, knowingly or unknowingly, they're also capturing a lot of unwanted sea life and different species like sea turtles, cetaceans, bluefin tuna, grand bank cod. So a lot of species which are not needed are also being fished. And what happens when this happens is the food web in the ocean gets imbalanced. Thereby, the entire food web chain in the ocean gets imbalanced, which can impact the carbon retention in that in water, and these are illegal catches, and the experts are saying that the illegal fishing is estimated to around 36 billion each year. That regulated fishing nets criminals. This is the extent of illegal fishing that's happening. And they move through opaque supply chains due to lack of systems to track such fishes. Also, as I've already told you about the horse crab fish. Now, we need this fish. Why do we need it? Because we want to use it, test our vaccines against them. And we are indiscriminately catching them, and we are experimenting on them, but we are not looking at the impact on the population of the horse crab fish. So it is this kind of the horseshoe crab. It is these kind of things that we need to balance out. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. I hope, Sangeeta ma'am, you're still online, and I hope that question is answered.
Yeah, it's okay.
Uh, yeah. I'm also going to unmute Mr. Himanshu
And
sir
the
again.
protection, one more thing she's asked is about the protection that we are taking. There is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which provides legal protection to many marine animals and various coral reefs, which are especially in the designated areas where it's called marine protected areas. Yes, there are acts which are protecting them.
In place.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for the reply, ma'am. I'm going to unmute Mr. Himanshu sir again. Just a moment. Yes, sir.
Hi, just I want to add about that laws which we were talking about. What are the ocean pollution control laws which are available in national level? Also, there are a number of laws available international level also there. Like we have a Water Act 1974, which also covers not only the rivers and water bodies, but also covers the ocean also. So the Water Act is one of the act. Second act is the Coastal Regulation Zone Act. That is also one of the act which that is a proper development and all infrastructure development is controlled at the coastal level by CRZ rules. Thirdly, there is a Marine Shipping Act also. That also covers a lot of how the shipping industry should properly take care of their waste. That is also clearly mentioned in the Marine Shipping Act. Then fourth is Indian Port Act is also there. So that also covers the how we can prevent the pollution in the ocean from the ports. So these are the various acts which is already available in the Indian national level to control the ocean pollution. Even there are a number of treaties, international treaties that has also been signed, Marco Polo treaties, Paris Act. These are all related. They are also actually Kyoto Protocol. These are all actually international treaties which also take care of ocean pollution. So there are a lot of provisions already available, but still a lot has to be done. Thank you.
About the oil spills, are there any treaties?
Yeah, this marine shipping, the Marco Polo Treaty. Yes, Marco Polo, I think. Just see the Marco Polo Treaty is for at international level only, which deals with the oil spills only.
Okay, got it. The one you said was the Marco Polo. The other one, what did you say was the international treaty?
Kyoto Protocol is also there for this mercury. Then Paris Agreement also deals something about the ocean pollution also. So there are a number of international treaties also, which directly or indirectly, may not be directly, maybe indirectly, they are taking care of ocean pollution.
Yes. And in the presentation also, if you have seen, we've also mentioned some treaties that have been working. The High Seas Treaty 2023,
Yes.
Fisheries Subsidies Agreement 2022, the Plastics Treaty. Yeah, these are also there.
Yes, they are also. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
question?
Thank you, sir. There's a question from Vidya. What about decomposition of nuclear wastes? Till now, they are buried in the seabed silently.
In fact, Vishwa still has to cover the radioactive waste. We'll cover it in our coming talks.
Yes.
Yes, this is a serious thing, but war and if you see the Ukraine Russia war has made many countries restart their nuclear power plants. Yes.
Ma'am, there's Mr. V.S. Chandrasekharan. He wants to give an input on the fishing net issue.
Sure.
I'm just going to prompt him to unmute.
Sure.
Hello, sir.
Hello. It was
Can you come on video, please? Can you come on video, please?
Yeah, it was nice, very crisp. Thanks. I have, after retirement from government service in 2017, I have been sharing knowledge with the students, press and media, and all related to fisheries, aquaculture, and all. And today also my presentation is there today evening with a group of NGOs on sea turtle conservation. With regard to what Shivani madam asked about the fishing nets, is it possible to make it organic? So actually, after independence, as you know very well, we had only the traditional fishing crafts. Traditional fishing crafts. So that time our fisheries was just in the beginning. All our fishing load was less. What the fish we were catching, they were less. The quantity was less. But as the technology started improving, our fishery production has also increased tremendously, thanks to the science, mostly from the West. Countries like Norway and all, they have helped us a lot in development of the fishing crafts and gears. So in this course, we have come from organic to inorganic. Okay, all the plastic ropes all over the world, except the small scale artisanal fishing crafts and gears, we have been using only these plastic nets, heavy plastic nets, because tons and tons of fishes you have to pull out from the sea with the powerful vessels, even industrial vessels. So I can be happy to say that in India we have not utilized. We are in a sustainable way of doing fishing, but in the West and all, particularly Atlantic Ocean, they have almost swept out every fishery resources. So what I would like to say is now it is not possible to go back to the organic fishing nets. Okay, so only thing is how we can safely dispose the ghost nets. So the unused nets, which are called as ghost nets, they are actually polluting, contributing to about 20% of the marine plastic pollution. And the grey water from the ships also they are contributing to the plastic pollution. So with regard to the nets, how only thing is we have to educate the fishermen. I'm not talking only about our country, it's a global issue. So we have to see there is a term you might have heard about the IUU, illegal unreported that fishing. In FAO said it is there, IUU. Okay. So this IUU is one of the reasons for contributing a significant amount of ghost net pollution, plastic pollution into the ocean. So all these problems are interconnected, and it's a global issue. And of course, whatever from our country we can do it in the FAO and the United Nations meetings whenever such issues are being discussed. And at our level, see the domestic input from of plastic or sewage, domestic sewage, agricultural waste, biomedical waste, which are all reaching to the sea. So that we can control, we can proudly say that we are in the safe level of all these concentrations in the oceans. Thank you very much.
Sir, you're from which organization you said?
I am a retired scientist from Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture, Chennai, comes under ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. I am basically a marine biologist.
What is okay? What is happening with the mangroves around Chennai and all? Tamil Nadu belt?
See, in our country, mangroves are good. Unlike Indonesia, thousands of mangroves they have been cleaned off in many countries. But in India, we are good. And actually, the mangroves have started increasing. At least in Tamil Nadu, we have some government programs in which reforestation of mangroves they are taking place. And as I heard, the Mangrove Foundation of India in Mumbai, Maharashtra also they are doing a good job. So Sindhudurg area and all reforestation of mangroves they are going on. I don't think aquaculture is not much devastating mangroves in India. Because
what about Sundarbans?
Sundarbans, nobody is touching. Sundarbans, it's very good. Nobody is touching. At least not for aquaculture or anything, as I know. Because we have in Kakadip, we have a regional center over there, and we always advocate environmental friendly aquaculture systems. So we have to do aquaculture environment friendly without causing any damage to the environment, to the soil, to the water, or the habitats.
What is your take on the coral reefs?
Coral reef,
Lakshadweep, Andamans versus Mauritius.
See, there are two things. One is the climate change that
and Maldives.
Yeah, that is a long-term process. Even if we globally take some steps to combat the carbon emission and all, it will take 20-30 years to see the effects. Okay, so that is one thing. The another thing is whatever locally the damage, what like supposing if the river runoff is having more of pollutants, that may affect the nearby coral bed and all. So for that matter, seagrass bed also. So that locally, whatever we can take care, that we should take care. But the larger issues like climate change and all, that should be addressed globally.
So what is the government of India's role in protecting coral reefs?
See, Department of Environment and Forest, they have a lot of programs. And as you said, and many other gentlemen, there are many rules and regulations, acts are there. And whatever possible, I'm happy that we are doing good. when compared to many other countries, we are doing good.
But the waste that is going out of the rivers into the sea, how is that being regulated?
See, solid waste management, liquid waste management, these two are the main things that we have to take care. Right from air pollution, government has regulations for monitoring and controlling. Okay, so only thing is strict implementation is to be seen. There should not be any seepage of rules and regulations. I hope you understand.
Yes, yes. Yes, thank you, sir, for giving us
Thank- If you want, I will deliver some lectures. We will be in touch with mail and WhatsApp. I have already sent my number and email ID. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Srishant will get in
Thank you.
touch.
Bye.
Okay. Srishant, next. You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Chandrasekharan sir, for joining us, and thank you for all the insights you've given to us. I will connect with you via call. Ma'am, we have finished all the questions from the chat box, and we've also completed all the doubts. I'd like to.
What's happening in Pondicherry on the coral reefs?
Uh,
You have to go check it out.
yes, I will.
Because
I
Arvind
will.
is right from there, so.
Yeah. I tried connecting. It didn't work out because of medical emergencies and stuff for him. But yes, I'm still trying to connect there and go there and visit. I'd like to give a special thanks to Chandrasekharan sir, Kedareshwar sir, Himanshu sir, Amit sir for joining us and also giving all the wisdom bombs and all the knowledge. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much, Ravani ma'am, for taking time out to do this session. It was like very hush hush, and um, thank you for covering up. And apologies to all the participants for any network issues and glitches that you might have encountered. Uh, I'm going to paste the link for the talk again in case anybody has missed any part of the session. You can go ahead and check the link in the chat box. And with that, we close today's session. I request Shivani ma'am to join into the breakout room link that you'll see on your screen shortly, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'd
Yes.
like to thank all the participants for being patient in this talk till now. And I'd like to thank Preeti because yesterday evening when we got to know, both of us sat and got all the information and she helped me with all the PPTs. We were working till late in the night and early morning again from 6:30. Both of us were working on this presentation. A special thanks to her and a big thanks to the entire Vishwa team for coming out with such wonderful topics. Yes. Thank you to each of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Rakesh, could you please project the breakout room link? Yes, ma'am. I think the breakout room link will be on your screen.